Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Daggers back with another Dragonheir Silent Gods video. Sorry, it's been a few days since I've had a chance to upload a video. I have a full-time job, work's been a bit busy and crazy, but today coming at you with an update. So I wanted to go over the most recent game optimization update that they just put out. It's a small patch. I was playing the game live when this came out, started checking out some of the features, wanted to share them with you guys. I think there's some really nice stuff in here. I'll be honest with you, I'm still kind of new at this. I already recorded one video and had my mic off. So I'm doing this a second time. So let's get at it. We're going to go through an overview of the update. I'm not going to read it word for word, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like in game and talk about my opinion on a few things. So they updated the hero system. It's been comprehensively optimized, and we'll look at that when we go into the game. So the main things was they updated the walkthrough. So it summarizes the heroes, kind of gives you a sentence to describe what they're good for and what they do. It gives you some key stats, some game modes that they recommend you use it through, and then different gear and artifacts that you should wear. And then the hero rating, they've changed that completely. So you no longer have the score for each game mode where you could look at it and see, Gary has had a 5.0 for everything. We'll talk about that because I'm actually not sure that this is going to be a positive change. This is the only one I'm not really sure about in this. They added the team feature. So this is a shortcut to get to the teams that you use in the dungeons and in the vortex. This is probably the single best change that they made in this update right here. And I'm going to go through that and show you in a few minutes. Um, Optimized a collect feature. So I didn't know exactly what this meant at first, but when you get into the gallery, when you get into your teams, into your where you manage your heroes, you can create your own custom tags. So you can then add characters into your own custom filters. And so it's really nice. I'll show you how that works as well. And then they optimize the before battle walkthrough display in dungeons. Players can now learn more about conquering the bosses. This as well is a really nice change that I'll show you on the Grave of Curse. And then they optimize the way that the heroes are displayed when you filter them. Classifications are based on schools of damage. So they kind of maybe group all the wild characters together. I didn't notice a huge change, but I didn't look too deep into that. We can take a quick look at it as well. But the first thing that we are going to go to, and again, the thing I think is the absolute best part of this update is right here. You have your hero section. We're all familiar with what this looks like. And you have a
Wine,
team section.
crowds, and
So
apples.
these are all the
I
teams
detest
that
them
you
all.
have saved when you go to the dungeon and you select the little icon to pick the team that you want for Vortex or Frost Domain, as you can see here, or
For the
Flame
justice
Domain.
of the people
And
of the
these are the
world.
names that you create. You can edit them right here. You can go to the equipment plan for the entire team. You can edit it right here. I'm not actually using that team anymore. Um, but you can see the plan. I've got my first couple sets of legendary gear for DPS. Um, you can go to edit the lineup. You can change the lineup right here. You can edit the skill timing for your entire team right here from your hero menu. Again, I knew that they needed to do something. I'm not the only one that has been frustrated where you've made a change to your gear and you clicked play on Vortex or some other dungeon and you beat it and you get a really good score and then you realize, oh, I forgot to save my gear. I've got to then teleport into this other dungeon and load the same team, but don't load my gear because if I accidentally load my gear, then it changes everything and then I've got to save it. You don't have to worry about that anymore. You can come right here if you finish Vortex after making a change to your gear. You can come in here, you can update your gear, you
I
run
want to
Vortex,
become
you
an
see you've got an
amazing
increase
witch
in
doctor
damage
too.
by a couple million, and you come back here, you go to your equipment plan and you save your plan. You can sync it to with what you're using. So you can save your plan from here. You can edit your skill timing. You can delete the team from here. Again, I think this is great. This allows you so much more flexibility than what we had before. And like I said, I didn't know I needed this the way that this is
Boring.
set up here.
How boring.
Um, the
Only
For the
next thing that
justice
I
of
want
the
to show
people of the
you
world.
is they still have the same pin. So if you click on this, you pin the heroes to the top of your list. But this is the official hero guide changes that they made. So when you click on this, it now actually shows you main tags that they've given for each of the heroes. So Acilia has healing and debuff immunity. Acilia is able to withstand significant damage, so it tells you she's tanky, and excels at healing and dispelling debuffs for all your teammates. What I don't like about this is the recommended element and the recommended condition. And this is a issue that I have occasionally with this game is in their localization, is in their translation. So, as a native English speaker, as an American, this doesn't make any sense to me. This is not intuitive, and I've figured it out because I understand the context. I know that these are the actual stats that they want you to focus on: enlightenment, HP, and defense, but it's not a recommended element. The element in this game would be fire or ice, or those are elements in common parlance, common English. And recommended condition has nothing to do with game modes. I don't understand where they got that word from at all, but the information is accurate and is correct and is really good, right? Grave of Rot is a great place because she heals your team and removes debuffs and gives you debuff immunity. Grand Gladiator Arena, again, she's extremely good for that. Voresh tries to put a debuff on your whole team. Acilia clears it off. Sigrid doesn't do any significant damage. Next, you can see the gear that they recommend, the Mona Lisa's watch, hood. So this is a healing set. They recommend good artifacts. So again, like I said, all the information is correct. The only issue I really have with this is the localization, the way that they translated this. So here's the part that I'm not too sure is going to work. This is now how you can rank the hero. Players will be able to add a comment, and then other players will be able to upvote the comments. This could be used in a lot of ways that may not help the game. I don't really want to speculate. I don't want to give anybody an idea. But this is something that I could see needing to be changed depending on how the player base uses it, and we'll just say the quality of the comments that are left about the different heroes. But this page here, I think, is excellent and was a great change. And like I said, didn't even know that I needed it. And then the last one, like I said, is the custom categories.
For the
So if you click on the
justice of the
star here
people of the
now,
world.
you can see that you can add your own categories. I created the DPS and the healer category. You go here, you type in whatever you want, completely custom within the limits. And then you can add heroes to these categories so that when you go up here and you want to filter out, you can see now I have a DPS category
If
and
you
I
had a
have
second
2
chance
heroes
at
right now
life,
tagged to that category.
what would you
And you can see
most
that I have a healer category and I have 2 heroes categorized to the healer category.
Try my
I'm not sure
claymore
how
before
useful this is going to be, but
belittling
I
me.
think it's really cool. And I think that there's a lot that you could do with that. And the fact that it's customizable um, really leaves it up to the player to use it to your benefit or to ignore it, and it won't hurt you if you don't create any of those. The next change, and the one that I think I was second most excited for, is in the dungeon information screen. So we're going to go to Grave of Venom. This is going to be the same as what everyone's familiar with, but when you go to the view info, this page is completely different. So I think this is great. It shows you the boss level. It shows you recommended accuracy right here. If you click on the exclamation point, shows you the resistance, gives you kind of the words and the description as it used to. But really the best part is the timeline right here, is the way that they've laid out the boss's skills. In the past, it was hard to understand which one was a passive. It was hard to understand what order they came in. If you didn't memorize these icons, this swirly one or the fire one or the one with arrows, and you'd have to read the description to say, okay, which one is which and at what point do they come. This answers everything for you. It tells you that these two are the passives, immunity control, and they have a 60% chance of triggering the system of the flame elements, the poison wisps. So this is great. I didn't know I really needed this, and honestly, probably at this point in you know the second season, I don't necessarily need that, but it will be helpful as we get into the new dungeons and if they bring changes to other dungeons later in the season or for season three. This is going to be a really nice way that the information is laid out and useful for new players tremendously. I think in season one, this would have helped me a lot to not struggle when I get to the higher levels because the boss's skills will sometimes change as you go into higher levels. They start adding debuffs they didn't have before, or they have other mechanics where you need to block them from getting a buff. And again, this is just a much cleaner layout, provides all the information that everyone needs. And I'm really excited to have gotten some of these changes. Um, for me, really early in season two. So I'm in my second week, or right at the very end of my second week of season two. So I get to benefit from a lot of these UI changes and a lot of the updates to the game for I guess longer in my playing time than maybe some of the people that started at global launch. So, for example, one of the changes they made for the other world exploration was where they made the static bosses and they put all six of them on the map at the same time. When you got to the end game, you didn't have those three random bosses that rotated every hour. I had that for honestly a matter of days before that update came out, and then for the whole rest of the end of season one, I got to play with all six bosses there at all times, and I could do them whenever I wanted. So those quality of life changes. There were other quality of life changes that came in season one for me that were either in season two, like the multi ticket or the multi battle. Those things hit me while I was still in season one. So uh, I actually, kind of have a love hate with the fact that I started later. These type of updates, these quality of life changes really benefit me more because I'm further behind. But when it comes to content or if it comes to wanting to be figuring things out before other people, because to me that's part of what I really enjoy about this game is the puzzle like nature of it and how each team requires puzzle pieces and you have to build it to kind of match the skills and the strengths and weaknesses of the opposing teams, whether that's in PvP or whether that's in Fey or a boss. So I really like that part of the game, and that's what I really find fun. So anyway, uh, those are the major changes that came out today. I hadn't been able to put out a video for a few days, so I wanted to just kind of share this with everybody, give some of my thoughts on what I really see as a positive, a couple of things that it would be really nice if they could tweak to make it even easier for people to understand. And honestly, if you've made it this far in the video, I would really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a wonderful day.